Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant News and loads to dive into today on the roster news side of things. cNed of Acend, the World Championship winning roster, may be considering a move to another organisation. 100 Thieves could be in the running to pick him up to their squad. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hitting the like button is the best thing you can do. Top the channel reach new people, and please consider subscribing as well if you have not yet already. Loads of new subs over the last few days. Really appreciate it guys. We're absolutely killing it right now. So firstly, before we dive into the roster stuff, wanted to mention a couple of LANs that are going on right now if you guys need to kind of wet your whistle in terms of actually watching some good Valorant matches. A load of big name players actually playing in this one. So the Guard, the new squad, they've brought in cNed, of course, very young up and coming potential, huge superstar of the future in that region. Very nice little ace right here on Acend to close out this game. I mean, I'm not really sure what they're playing out here, trying to clear this corner. Doesn't really work out too well for them. But yeah, a couple of tournaments going on right now in Fullerton and also in Philadelphia. This is one of them, of course, the Fullerton one. We'll have a look at it in just a couple of seconds. This is the bracket that's going on right now, so a pretty big tournament. There's definitely some reasonably big name players in this one, but of course it's probably more interesting to see how the Guard are getting on down here on the lower side and whether they can actually win this tournament right with their new squad. There's also a tournament going on right now in Philadelphia. It's called well, I think they've affectionately called it Fragadelphia, but you can see some big name players actually here. So of course these aren't any like official rosters really that are going forwards. At least most of these guys aren't, but well, some of them certainly are. So of course you've got Brax, you've got Corey, Rossi, they're all teaming, Whitmer and Tex all teaming on this squad right here, so not exactly a full roster going forwards, but just cool to see these guys playing and see how this might go. So definitely going to keep my eyes on how this one develops going forward, if you guys can still see that on screen. You also get right here a Bad Boy crew, right, with Crit on that squad, like I think I might have seen Harmful in here as well. It's kind of difficult to get your way through all these names. Maybe Harmful isn't here, but you can also, he is here actually on this squad, but also you've got this team on the way with Bang on the team, so there's definitely some big name players in this one. Kind of cool to see how things are going. This is the bracket right now, so you can see, on the way and making their way up through the semi-finals as well. That was the team, as you can see right here, with on the way with Bang and Co as well, and Brook, Stella, all this type of stuff. So pretty cool to see how this is going. But yeah, I'll at least keep you guys updated a little bit on this tournament, how it goes over the coming days. Let's talk Rostermania then. So Giants Gaming, they've certainly had to make some moves the last couple of days, because G2 basically came in and said, okay Giants, we're just going to take all your best players really, with the exception maybe of David P, and well, we're going to make some changes. Now I mean, they make some significant moves. They bring in a couple of guys. It seems like their roster is basically going to get confirmed in G2 in a couple of days here. Now well, David and Ambi, they're now also out of the team. As they say, you made our dream and together we almost achieved the impossible. David and Ambi, they're out of the team. So G2 basically came in and just destroyed the Giant squad, and then they've decided to basically gut the rest of the team and go a separate way again. So well, as they say, David and Ambi, that they've now left Giants Gaming, with only Fatinho being the only remaining player on the team. So after G2 basically came through and took Meadow, Hoodie and Pipson out of there, they're well, now they're considering an entirely different direction. So interesting, I suppose, to see how that one has gone. But yeah, Meadow and Hoodie joining, of course, that G2 roster on the starting lineup, and Pipson, I believe, is the coach that's going over there as well to join Mixwell, Nuki, and Avova on that roster going forward. At least that hasn't been confirmed as of yet. That's what we imagine may well be the case. Let's talk about this then, the big story of the day that comes out from George Geddes last night over at Upcomer. cNed is exploring his options in Europe and North America. Arguably the best player in the world is wanted by multiple teams. 100 Thieves, one of the teams that preliminarily expressed interest. So this is very interesting, right? I mean, this is crazy, frankly. If you win a world championship, you would not expect that team to be splitting up anytime soon. And honestly, my money would probably be on it not. Like I said this a few days ago when it was initially seen that well, George says right here, this does not mean he's leaving Acend for sure, just exploring options at the present time. Now there was a tweet that came out a few days ago, right, from Acend, saying they re-signed Zeke. I'm pretty sure they also re-signed the rest of the guys as well. And I kind of said at the time, if cNed's smart here, he will explore some options from other teams, like field some offers, so he can go back to Acend and say, okay, this is what I'm getting offered this money from 100 Thieves right now, like, how are you going to stop me from going over there? Now, of course, you would imagine, given the team has had so much success winning the World Championship, they want to stick together. cNed probably wants to stick with that squad, because, he knows he can win and succeed with that team. At the same time, though, maybe he wants a new challenge. Maybe he wants to go somewhere else, to another region, go with a new squad and try and win champions with them, right? Who knows, like, what he's thinking here, especially if a lot of money's on the line, which you well would imagine that it might be. So, kind of remarkable that a potential World Championship team could be splitting up immediately, but well, cNed could be considering this as an option, especially with some of the organizations that might want to get involved and drop a serious bag to get cNed on their squad, because obviously an incredible player. So, well, as is described right here by George in the article, I'll leave the entire thing linked down below if you guys want to check it out. But of course, 100 Thieves, right, with this situation that's going on right now with, of course, Nitro, like, he's dipped from the team, he's gone back to CSGO, their Jet player is gone, they could need a Jet player player in cNed to join their roster. They're actively seeking replacements. Acend may have to begin practice soon without cNed if he does not re-sign with the team. That's really the thing, right? Like, if he doesn't come back to the roster, like, it's not too far really until January, right? Until the VCT 2022 begins officially in Europe and North America. So, Acend have got to figure something out, right, if he's not back in the team. Of course, that'd be kind of crazy if they had to actually get a replacement in, but, still, if he doesn't re-sign and he actually wants to go elsewhere and gets a good offer, then, well, still, Acend might have to consider exactly what's happening on that front. So, of course, they've got to work things out, and, of course, which organisation he potentially goes to, that, of course, would be a massive question, because apparently, if multiple organisations are interested, as you'd imagine they might be, in the European side and the North American side, which guys are going to pick him up in the end, or at least make him a massive offer that he maybe can't refuse, right? Who even knows? Now, of course, like, Starkso and cNed, they were a really big performance here at the World Championship Grand Finals, up against, of course, Gambit in the Grand Finals there. cNed, really, the entire tournament was fantastic. Early on, I think he had a few maybe slower maps, but as the tournament went through, of course, they really only lost a map up until the Grand Finals to Vivo Key Drive, which is kind of crazy how that series transpired. Then, well, going on to how the rest of the tournament went down. So, yeah, cNed and Co made it out, but yeah, definitely cNed, like one of the strongest players in the world right now, no doubt, especially winning the World Championship. There's really no questions about that one. So that's really the thing. What are they going to do? Which organisation might potentially put an offer in? Like, well, I'll definitely do my best to keep you guys updated, but crazy stuff, frankly, that happens in this VALORANT scene. Like, I can't believe some of these changes that might be being made. Now, of course, this was the other question about exactly what 100 Thieves were planning to do, and that was potentially bringing Ekis onto their team. Rumour had it for a little bit that they were considering Hiko, Ethan, Asuna, Breeze from Counter-Strike, bringing him in alongside Ethan, that he teamed with for a long time, and then bring Ekis in from the European region, formerly NIP IGL. So maybe that will still happen. As he says here, new soon question mark. He may well be the IGL they're looking for over in that side of things in 100 Thieves. Now, whether they bring Breeze into the team or whether they consider another move and bring in cNed into the squad as their jet player, that is a big question mark. Now, of course, Ekis, like, he could go a lot of different routes, but there was talk about him joining 100 Thieves, so maybe that will be what happens. It's obviously very difficult to say. As he says, I thought it was kind of funny. He gets a DM here from Rakufska Esports, and they say, hello Ekis, I come today on behalf of Rakufska Esports to make a proposal. We offer 2 cakes per month to come here, play here in Brazil, and compete in VCT Brazil with Rakufska. Good offer. I get the smiley face. So this apparently was the news. Hope I can get my visa right to get all this sorted. Would we imagine something a little bit more serious happening over the coming days here? But yes, not ruling out by any means the possibility he might be heading over to 100 Thieves as well, and because I'm sure they're really the team probably. Like, there's a few other squads there in North America, but Sentinels, Envy, if they are going to stick into the new year, then it's really T1 and it's 100 Thieves. They're going to make some big moves here to probably try and switch things up and be the best team in that North American region going forward. I think that title is certainly up for grabs, given the way Sentinels and Envy look to the World Championship. Speaking briefly of Envy, you've got this from Victor, right? Bring back Oben and double duelist and Stinger meta. This, as dapr says in reply, maybe when North America was kind of at their best, right? Because at Champions, we kind of saw that, the European region certainly the strongest on that side of things. Interesting that, Gambit in a way is kind of considered European region, whereas in CS they'd certainly be considered the CIS region, but I think some people do consider them that anyway. Doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's just a team in a region. But, North America, they maybe were the best when the Omen was probably in play. To be fair to cNed and the guys on Ascend, they actually used Omen to pretty good effect in this tournament, which basically no one else did. So does it still need a buff? Who knows? But maybe some changes need to be made here, because I think some people would say that some of these agents have kind of ruined the game to some degree. Astra especially, there's been some talk about the last several weeks. And just to finish off with this, I thought you guys might find interesting from prosettings.net, basically running through all what the pros having to use at Champions, right, in terms of gear and guides. So just basically what the most popular mouses are, monitors, headsets are right now. So the Cloud 2s, for example, the most popular mouse pads people are using, keyboards, like generally it's some Logitech stuff as you guys might expect. Of course, GPUs, I'm pretty sure they just get built in to the system itself, what they play on for the actual Champions event on the main stages, but I guess this is what these guys are using in their own personal setups potentially as well, but of course that's going to change around a lot. This I thought was interesting in terms of average DPI. So, eDPI is effectively effective DPI, so you take your in-game settings, your in-game sensitivity, times by your mouse DPI, and then you get your eDPI. Now, Nevera actually with the 138, so he plays on a really low sense relatively. Dephh with the highest one, but not a huge difference between the two. I mean, it's kind of like a 2 and a bit times difference between the two of these, which maybe makes a fair bit of sense. But, as you can see, most players around this mark in terms of eDPI, so if you guys are trying to think about what exact sensitivity should you potentially go for and use, monitor refresh rate and monitor resolution, of course, not really, too surprising on that front, but I thought this is kind of interesting nonetheless to finish out the video. But very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hitting the like button and tells the YouTube gods this is a good video, and it's like you should see it as well, and I've grown the competitive Valorant community. Thank Thank you for watching as always, take care, and I will see you next time.